we're going to continue the magic here on the show because you've probably heard a lot about the supply chain crisis lately. I'm sure you have. One of the most critical links in that chain are truckers, because they're the ones who are transporting all the products that we buy into every single store in America. My next guest is a 30-year veteran of the trucking industry. She serves as vice president of the Tennessee Trucking Association, one of the oldest state trucking associations in the nation. She knows all too well when we talk about essential workers, truckers really are essential. Please welcome to the show, Donna England. Donna, nice to have you here.
Thank you. Nice to...
I wonder, do people understand how important the trucking industry is? I mean, it's not just those guys on the highway that we're so afraid, they're going to get too close to us. They're carrying everything we're going to put in our houses. They're hauling it to us.
I don't think that folks realize just how important our truck drivers are until the pandemic happened. After the pandemic, I think everybody now knows that our truck drivers are essential and that they are hauling our goods, our essentials. They're hauling everything that we use in our households. When we go out to eat dinner, they're bringing our food to the restaurants, the supplies to the restaurants. Our truckers are so important to our economy and making sure that we have...
They are. They really are. And I'm glad our audience recognizes that. That's an important thing to do because, a year ago we were celebrating the truckers as being the heroes, the people delivering stuff to our homes. This year, they've been accused of being a part of the problem in the supply chain. Now, I don't think that's fair, but I'm going to let you tell me if I'm right or wrong.
Our truckers are not the problem to our supply chain issues. We do have a driver shortage. We have always had a driver shortage. There's only been maybe one time in my career that I saw that we had an influx of drivers in our industry, but since I've been in this industry for 30 years, I have not seen us have the driver shortage that we have now. And I do believe that the pandemic has helped with that. I also think that, of course, the American Trucking Associations in 2018, they said that we had over 60,000 drivers short. Since the pandemic, I believe we have more that we're short at this point. We also have other issues in our supply chain that if we don't work together, we won't bridge those gaps and we won't make the supply chain come back. I feel like that it will come back, that there's going to be a time that it's going to take all of us working together to make sure that we do what we need to do is each industry pulls together to get the supplies that we need.
Donna, we got all these ships sitting out on the West Coast in the ocean, hundreds and hundreds of them, thousands, with stuff that we need. And if they even get it into port, then we have to truck it or get it by train. But most of it will go by truck across the rest of the country. Do we have the capacity to get that stuff if it does get to port? And you mentioned that we have a shortage. It's going to take a long time to move those things from the ports to the rest of the country.
Yes. We have a shortage of not only truck drivers to haul the freight out, we have a shortage of workers to actually work at the ports. If we open them 24/7, like what the Biden administration has told us that they're going to do, we're still going to have issues. We're still going to have weak links in the chain that we need to work on to make sure that, one, we have the workers, we have the warehouses, we have all the things needed to make sure that we're getting that freight off the ports and we're getting it delivered. Even though they're going to be open 24/7, a lot of companies aren't going to send their drivers in the middle of the night to go pick up a load when they can't go and deliver it because they have to utilize the drivers that we have now in the best capacity that they can.
I have heard that the average truck driver's age is like over 50, which means that there's going to be a lot of guys retiring. And if we don't start getting some younger people into the trucking industry, we're going to be in a world of hurt sooner than we think we are. But what is an average trucker made? I mean, this is a good job for people when they say, well, I can't find something that pays well. Driving a truck can pay pretty well, can't it?
Driving a truck can pay pretty well. I have a CDL myself, and I've actually drove a truck over the years.
Really?
Yes, sir. And so
Good for you.
It can it can pay well. The drivers, can make anywhere from starting out in this industry $40,000 and then they just can continue to grow their income and can be up in the 80s, $100,000 a year income brackets. The problem in our industry right now is we don't allow 18 to 21-year-olds to operate in interstate commerce. There is a Drive Safe Act that's been introduced. It was introduced in 2018 to allow these 18 to 21-year-olds to be able to operate in interstate commerce. Right now, they can operate in their states, depending on state laws, because each state is different. They can operate and go from one end of the state to the other end of the state, but they can't cross state lines. So if I'm in Chattanooga and I want to go to Georgia, I'm 19 years old, I can't do that, even though I'm only going to be going 10 miles into Georgia. But I could go across some states from one end to the other. In Tennessee, we limit those 18, 19, 20-year-olds on how the distance that they can drive. They can only go within 100 miles of their terminal, but the majority of the states out there don't have limits on how many miles they can run in their state. With the Drive Safe Act that's been introduced, I believe that it is in the infrastructure bill, and if it is passed, then they will start allowing a pilot program that there'll be 3,000 drivers at any one time, 18 to 20-year-olds, that they will allow in the program. But there will be restrictions. They will be required to train 400 hours. 240 of those hours, they will have to be actually behind the wheel and working. And then there is going to be a requirement that an experienced driver with 2 years experience or more be in that truck with that trainee. And there'll be other restrictions. But as far as, getting in the high schools and getting these students acclimated to, hey, truck driving is a good career. You can make really good money. What happens now is we lose these students coming out of high school and they end up in another career. It might be 1 career, 2 careers, 3 careers before they end up driving a truck. We usually don't see folks entering our industry until they're in their mid-30s. That's why the average truck driver is 50-ish, 52 years old.
Well, it's obvious that we need to get some more people driving trucks. That may be something if you have sort of a moment in your life between trucking or between jobs, that may be the answer. Donna England, thank you so very much for being with us tonight. Now, if you want to learn more about Donna's work with the Tennessee Trucking Association, go to tntrucking.org.